Welcome to Sir Lancelot's Real Estate Roundtable, your guide to mastering the realm of real estate in Central East Florida. I am Sir Lancelot Lenard, ready to uncover the secrets of seller strategies, home staging, mortgage mastery, and more. From Daytona Beach to Cocoa Beach, Lake County to St. Augustine, join me as we navigate the intricacies of real estate. As the leader of the Sir Lancelot Group at Florida Homes Realty and Mortgage, I'm here to arm you with knowledge and innovation, whether you're a seasoned homeowner or a first-time buyer, unveiling the kingdom of real estate, one roundtable at a time. Today on the Real Estate Roundtable, we're diving into a side of real estate that's often overlooked, but absolutely crucial: organization and moving preparation. Joining us is someone who turns chaos into calm. Becki McKenna, founder of Happy to Help Organizing. Becki is an expert in helping homeowners declutter, organize, and create show-stopping spaces that buyers can't resist. Whether you're preparing to list your home, planning to move, or just feeling overwhelmed by your stuff, Becki has a system, a strategy, and a smile to help you through it all. Get ready, because this episode is packed with actionable tips to make your next move and your life a whole lot lighter. Becki, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
This is awesome. I so wanted to have someone with your knowledge and skill set on this podcast. This is going to be really good. I think everybody needs to know about this. I wrote a book on how to prepare your home for the market, and every single room has decluttering in it,
Yeah.
So let's get started from the beginning. Becki, take us back a little. What inspired you to start Happy to Help organizing? Was there a defining moment when you realized this was your calling?
Yeah, so it was, I unfortunately lost my job during COVID. So I had a little bit of a grace period to figure out what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I was in sales, and I thought maybe just putting up a website to help people do organizing and design while they're stuck in their house would be fun to do on both ends. And the whole scope of what I wanted to do was design. I have my degree in interior design, and that was my core focus, was going to just be designing homes. And I walked into the first house and they wanted a paint color. And I said, "You need more than a paint color. You need to get stuff out of this house in order for you to feel like you're going to make a change in this house." So little by little, as I got calls for decorating, I noticed that people, because they were in their house for so long, they needed to get stuff out. So very quickly, I changed gears of my business to Happy to Help Organizing and Design to Happy to Help Organizing, where I still do the styling and editing where needed in houses. But the core focus now is organizing and decluttering and getting your things out of the house that you're no longer using, that you forgot about, but then also creating the systems where it's going to last and maintain, and everybody's going to know where the scissors are at the end of the day. So no one's asking questions once you have it all organized.
Everybody likes a house that looks really neat, no?
Yes, yes, yes.
So when someone calls you and says, "Help, my house is a disaster and I need to move," what's the first
Mhm.
thing you look at, or the first step you recommend?
Yeah, so I will give little tips and tricks once I see pictures of the space. So let's say it's something simple as just easy things that they can do on their own. Different colored hangers in a space. You would never think about it, but if you can have cohesive colors, it doesn't matter if it's black or white, just some type of neutral color of all of the same hangers will make the closet feel bigger. It'll make it feel calmer, and it'll make it feel more welcoming for the guest to go into. So that's just one little tip that I give clients, where I say, like, "Hey, start doing this until I'm there in person. And then let's really get into the guts of it and declutter and figure out what you're actually going to keep and move with you and then get rid of. Because at the end of the day, we want not only the sellers that are moving out, we want that to be a seamless process for them where they know every single thing that they're taking, they actually are going to use when they move. But on the buyer side, it's super important that the buyer can walk in and say, yes, I can see myself living here, because that is worth everything that the buyer that's walking in is going to know. I can feel comfortable here and I want to be in this space and have my own items in here.
Definitely, I always say that as well. Is like the buyers need to be able to imagine themselves living in the space.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
please remove all your pictures of your
Yep.
spouse and family members, all your
Yep.
religious items, all your sport memorabilia,
Yes.
all your things that are really, what if you're a Packers fan and the guy comes in and he's a cheesehead or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't watch football that much. That, and like, oh my God, I hate these guys, and then
Yep.
that's what turns them off from buying your house. So
Yes.
I always
Exactly.
say is like, guys, you just, but it's the best team in the world. I'm like, I get it.
Yes.
But not everybody
People
thinks
are
that.
very
Yeah.
people are very passionate about sports and their
Yeah.
sports teams, so I get it. But the number one thing is make it feel like an Airbnb. Have the little bits of decorations out, make it feel streamlined, cozy. And if there are things that are a definite no-go of I'm definitely keeping this. This is my great grandma's knitted something something. Perfect. Put it in a box, put it in storage, put it in the garage, let's try to get it out of the way so people are not looking at it like, what is that?
What is that doing
Even though
here?
they love that. Yeah. Exactly.
For sure, for sure. Hey, homeowners always want their house to sparkle for showings,
Mhm.
but it's overwhelming. What are two or three of your top must-do tips to get a home show ready without feeling like you're losing your mind?
Yeah, that's a really good point. So obviously the showings are pretty unexpected where the realtor is calling 10, 15 minutes prior to. The one thing that I try to implement with the clients that are trying to sell is doing like a 10-minute turn down is what I call it, turn down the house at night. So just as much as it sucks, set a timer for yourself, do the dishes, just make sure that there's a kind of clean surface. Just always prepare in your mind that there's going to be a showing the next day. And then if you have kids or um, you know, someone is not, the adult is not home and the kids are home after school doing whatever, and there's a showing coming up in an hour and you just heard about it, get just random baskets. Baskets with lids, decorative baskets where if there are toys on the floor, if there are socks, life happens and that's okay. But just get something where it's all contained, where you can just toss it in there and you can't tell what it is. So then that way it's an ease of mind on, again, both ends, the seller and the buyer. The seller doesn't have to stress that it's going to be a disaster. The kids know, just toss it all in the basket and just fight for your life until somebody comes there. But as far as, when you have warning of the showing, exactly what you said, don't have pictures of families on the wall, religious, sports items, anything to make it feel as general as possible so any person can feel welcome and want to be in the space.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree. I like this basket idea. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I,
Yep. Baskets will save lives.
that will definitely for imagine, always like most of the houses have, unless, retirees, but if you have a family, definitely that basket thing could work like a charm.
Yeah. 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 Just a really big, tall, woven one with a lid on it. And eh, truly anything can fit in there, including Nerf guns and Nerf darts and anything
Oh,
kid related.
I mean, I can see
Legos.
this big hamper basket, just
Yes,
pack everything in it and then put it
exactly.
in a corner and we're all set, ready to show.
Exactly. Exactly. Shoes, dog toys, anything that can be on the floor during that day where you didn't have time to clean up, just put it in there and then deal with it later.
For sure. So one of the hardest parts about moving is deciding what to keep and what to let go. How do
Mhm.
you coach people through those emotional decisions? I mean, that's a big one, like grandma's little knitted, what you would call it.
Yes, yeah. So it is any part of decluttering, whether you're moving or not, is a very emotional process. The questions that we always ask is, do you use it? How do you use it? Why do you use it? When's the last time you used it? And the last one is, do you love it? Because if it's something that you are really emotionally attached to, we're not going to tell you to get rid of it. I think when clients are one on one with us, actually walking through that process of, well, I got this book from my mother in law who told me to read it. I didn't read it. I don't plan on reading it. And then they kind of spiral and hear how silly they are. And then they go, we can get rid of it. We don't need that. So being able to talk through it is one of the biggest points. The second one is if they're moving across the country, which I moved from Wisconsin to Central Florida, so I know how much it costs to move things. And I always tell my clients is because you're measuring by weight when you're moving across state, or you're measuring and charging by how much is actually in the semi truck. Is it worth $50 every single time? Like, are these pack of pencils that you're going to keep, are they worth $50? And if they say no, I say, okay, we can donate it. Like, I understand that you might need them next year for school supplies or in 3 years or 4 years, but I've seen that you already have 50. So it's not worth it. So moving can be hard because there's a lot of sentimental things, but we want to get down to the ones that don't matter, like the pencils, like the office supplies, like extra towels or anything like that. And people don't realize how much stuff they have until it's time to move. And then they're just throwing stuff into boxes, which is the last thing that we want them to do.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree with you. I moved about 8 times in the last 10 years. So I
Mhm.
I went through this.
Same.
Really need this? Nope. Don't need that anymore. Haven't seen that in 3 years. What is that? What is that for even? Is
Yep.
this something I
Yep.
got off the TV ad? You get what I'm
Yep.
saying?
And one of my favorite things is when we are called to unpack the rest of a house. So they've already done all of it on their own. God bless them. And we get there and it's maybe 10 boxes and I can see exactly what it is. And I straight out ask and I say, these were the last boxes to be packed in your house. And they start laughing and go, yeah. Because we know what it looks like. It's just the assortment of crap that you really don't need. So just get rid of it. It's okay.
That is so funny. Um, you offer virtual organizing too, correct?
Yes.
Hey,
Yep.
tell us a little bit about how you help people, even if they aren't local to Central Florida.
So virtual organizing for us is definitely a do it yourself. So body doubling is a very, very big thing with organizing. When you hire someone to have that other person with you, side by side, working with you. I do offer some virtual sessions actually right now for some Florida clients that I've had in the past, but they just want to get it done. So, virtual sessions is something where they would send me pictures or videos and say, I hate this. I love this. I just need to rearrange it so I can feel better about myself. And I will come up with a step by step plan of this is what I would do in this space. So I would take out the dresser, I would move the chair to this corner and have just kind of a little floor plan that they can see exactly what is in my brain, but then also a plan of what I would want the closet to look like. So that is something where if you're on a tighter budget or just need that little boost of I just need something to say step 1 do this, step 2 do this, step 3 do that. That's what virtual organizing would be, which really really helps the client because they can go at their own pace.
So that's awesome. Going back to, you said you were an interior designer. Do you also
Mhm.
follow like feng shui and
Yes.
other kind of things and
Yep.
give advice on those things? Do
Yes.
you also give advice on construction side on those things? Like how would you plan a house according to have the
Yep.
best energy flow in it?
Yeah, so anything that's going to be new builds, we work a lot with custom closets. So if I'm in the process with a client helping them declutter the house and I see how many, hanging items they have versus folded, what we can do to best utilize the space in their closets, because that's a huge thing when new builds happen. Is some construction companies will just say, well, this is the plan of what this closet is, this is what we've done in other houses, and then the family uses it completely different. So I'll typically do it with closets, kids closets, pantries, and I'll help them, or I should say guide them to talk to the owners on what their expectations are in there. But as far as floor plan of where the window should be or flooring should be, I stay far, far away from that and let the builders do that.
I understand structurally, but let's
Yeah,
say if you and I were to work together, and since I'm in construction, I would say, hey, I want a
yeah,
house for myself and I want it to be the best energy flow inside.
yeah,
You could put any window wherever you want. I'll make it happen no matter what, you know?
yeah,
You put the doors, etc.
yep,
You would be able to help in that, correct?
yes, yep, yep. And feng shui is very, very funny. They have very old traditions and beliefs. So when you get into the nitty gritty of it, it's funny to read about. But it works. It works.
It does. I mean, I know some of my Asian clients have definitely when we go search for houses, like it can't be those numbers on the house. It can't be door to door,
Yes.
and they're all wealthy in a lot of ways. I'm like, this definitely works for some people,
Yeah.
in a certain format. So
Yeah.
uh, I believe I'm a big believer in things happen for a reason, So
100%.
that is awesome. So maybe we'll talk in the future about
Yeah.
that. Feng Shui
Please.
houses, we
Yes.
Shangri-La and all of it. Do you have a favorite success story? A client who, went from a completely overwhelmed to totally ready and feeling empowered after working with you?
Um, so a lot of my clients are busy moms that just need to take a deep breath. They don't have the time to declutter, organize, or even prep for a move. So one thing that just stands out in general is that I have been told multiple times that I am not only an organizer, but I'm a mental health therapist that helps people just make sure that they feel better about themselves at the end of the session. So that's always a win for me when I hear that, because no one, no adult or mom or father or busy entrepreneur or anything, like, we all don't know what we're doing at the end of the day. Like, we were never given a book of how to be an adult. We're just trying to figure it out. So when you hear other people talking about that when they're overwhelmed and cluttered, it's like, all right, we're all here. Like, this is what we're here for, is to help one another. So I had a client who had a timeline to move to Washington. She was an older client and was in the house for 40 years. And that was the decluttering home of the century, to put it at the slightest, nicest way. And she was honestly the sweetest being I have ever met. We worked for, I want to say, 3 months to get everything decluttered, packed, labeled. And since she was moving across the country, I'm not sure if you're familiar with cross country moves, but everything needs to be labeled, everything needs to be itemized. So we start with box one and we say, in this box is X, Y, and Z. Then we have box two, and then you have a different category. And it's a way, way more intensive process moving across the country than it is just moving down the street. So I would say that was probably one of my favorite projects, and one of my projects where the client and I still keep in touch. And now she's in Washington with her family. Super excited to be there. She hates the cold, but I feel like a lot of the clients that I have had interactions with a couple of sessions, we're still keeping in touch, still, asking how the new house is, how the selling is going, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a good feeling. It's a small business, but it's a business where you're also keeping in touch with these people because you genuinely care about them.
And why is it that you have to label everything when you go in a cross country?
Cross country, so they will put it on a semi truck, and they will also have it. with other houses. So picture the biggest semi truck that you can possibly see, and then they'll have it sectioned off depending on where the stop is. So they'll load up everything. Some people will land in Texas, some people will land in Nevada. I'm just kind of pulling stuff out
Yeah.
of my brain right now. And there are times where people move across the country and they lost boxes, but they don't remember what was in those boxes. So if you lose those boxes, you can't claim it on insurance. Technically, don't quote me on this, but you can't claim exactly what was lost because you don't remember. Um, so that's why it's really, really important to have a spreadsheet made of this is box one of kitchen, this is what's all in it. So when you get it and you get it out of the storage or out of the truck, you can sit there with your list and check it off.
So that's part of your service too. So basically, you guys
Yes.
create an Excel sheet or a
Yep.
bunch.
Yep. Yeah. We'll take pictures of the boxes. Some clients have QR codes. That takes a little bit longer. And then typically what we'll do is just we'll make an Excel spreadsheet of every single item that's in there because it's scary moving all of your stuff across the country if you're not using a pod or something that is personally your own. So it's a good tactic and it saves you in the long run. It's and putting in air tags. I don't know if that is something that clients have mentioned before, but some clients will put in air tags in one of the boxes so they can follow it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, you can see it on your like little phone. Oh, look,
Yeah.
our
Yep.
stuff is in Texas right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I would totally do it.
Anything else you'd like to highlight about your services that you think I would missed?
Yeah, so locally we do all of everything that we have been talking about. So locally we will do decluttering services, organizing. If you need help with the pre-move decluttering, we'll help with that. We'll work with moving companies, so it's kind of like a one-stop shop. If you need everything done. So, like the luxury move management service, it would be us there from start to finish of the day that we declutter to the day that we are unpacking your home, which is a really cool system that we have. Um, we also have it bit by bit. So, if you just want us to declutter and you're going to hire packers, cool. We can also be there for the unpacking, organizing part when you get into the house so you don't have to worry about it. So, honestly, we can do as much or as little as you would like in your house to the point where you can rent an Airbnb for 3 days and we'll unpack it all, have paper towel, toilet paper, hand soap, all of the stuff that you need to walk into your house and know that you are completely settled in this new area.
Oh, just bring your toothbrush.
100%. Yeah, you basically just pack your suitcase of what you need for a couple of days and we'll do the rest of the work and it's honestly one of the best services that anyone could ever have because of the stressful encounters that it takes to sell a house or buy a house.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like the whole stress of selling and buying and just removing the moving part. I think most of the stress comes from the moving part.
Yep,
Like packing
100%.
up your stuff and then getting the kids together and packing everything in the car and oh, it's a showing and I still
Yep.
didn't box these items and
Yep.
all those things. It's like, hey, how about we just hire a person that does this professionally, packs everything
Yep.
up for you, just leaves the things that actually highlights your house for
Yeah.
you. We could even
Yep.
throw a nice coat of paint on the walls just so you get a better
Yeah.
feeling of the house, and then boom, when you're done, they'll come and take everything and then unpack everything in your new place. And you'll just like,
Yeah.
oh my God, we went on a cruise for 3 days. We got home and everything was unpacked.
Everything's
And I'm
done.
like,
Yeah. It's
any
it's
woman's dream, I can
really
tell you that.
and you know what? It is honestly one of the most rewarding projects that we can do. I would say we do them about quarterly and they're so fun because it's just I know personally how stressful it is to move. I will be moving in July, so I'm very excited about that. No sarcasm in that at all. So I get it. It's stressful, it's annoying, nobody wants to do it, but at the end of the day, that's why we're here to take the annoying parts out and have you be able to come home with clean sheets a bed that's made and, you know, shampoo, conditioner, and the shower, and you're set to go. So it's nice. If there is anything that we need to pack ahead of time, like what we were talking about with grandma's memories or china or anything like that, we would suggest renting a pod so we can keep the pod outside for showing. So if there is, you know, that small flow of items that we say, okay, we don't need this until we move, we'll just have the pod outside to put it in there and stack it. And then that way for each showing, it's show ready basically, and you don't have to worry about knickknacks or anything hanging out.
No, I agree with that. I just disagree a little bit about the pod being in your front lawn or on your driveway. A lot of
Sure.
HOA communities here in Central Florida, so
Sure.
it's not about the HOA. It's more about your curb appeal. I think
Very true.
like, hey, now there's a giant pod in my front yard. You know, like, hey, get rid of that, please, for the showings. Is there a way to do that? just
I'll just
just
stand in
say,
front of it and say, "There's nothing to see here. Don't even look at this. It's
yeah,
fine."
this is not here. Just print a giant picture on a sheet and then put it over the pod that it would look like it's not there. You know, it's the invisible pod.
Exactly. Exactly.
Demo it or whatever it's called, camouflage.
Yeah. Yep. I love it.
Awesome. So, hey, Becki, quick questions, quick answers. Okay.
Sure.
Favorite room to organize?
Kitchen.
Least favorite thing to pack?
Garage.
That's not a thing. That's a whole room.
Okay. So least favorite thing to pack. I would say wine glasses.
Ooh, yeah, those break so easy.
Yeah. And they take forever. Yeah. One box takes about an hour.
Oh yeah, all the paper and saran wrap. One item everyone should throw away before moving.
Magazines, please.
Magazines. Got you. That is awesome. Becki, thank you for sharing your magic with us today.
Thank you.
For anyone feeling overwhelmed by the thought of organizing, moving, or just wanting to make their home shine, Becki is truly your go-to expert. You can connect with her at what is the website?
Happytohelporganizing.com.
Happytohelporganizing.com. It's going to be also in the comment sections underneath. You can also connect with her on Facebook and I think Instagram as well. HTH_organizing on Instagram, and on Facebook, HTH Organizing. Whether you're near or far, her in-person or virtual services can make your next move the smoothest one yet. Thanks again, Becki, and thank you to all our listeners for tuning in to another episode of the Real Estate Roundtable. Until next time, stay organized, stay positive, and keep building your dreams. Also, stick a like if you like this. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Becki. Thank you for joining us on Sir Lancelot's Real Estate Roundtable, where we've unveiled the mysteries of real estate together. Remember, in this kingdom of possibilities, every dream home is just a discussion away. I can help your real estate dreams come true. Just call me at 786-449-7518. Until our next roundtable, may your ventures be prosperous and your homes be filled with love and joy. Farewell, fellow knights of real estate.